this morning. And perhaps the most predictable move of all time, Donald Trump said yesterday, Dr. Oz should declare victory. It makes it much harder for them to cheat with the ballots that they just happen to find. Those ballots are the mail-in ballots, which are not counted in the state of Pennsylvania until Election Day or after. You have local county election officials would love to count them earlier, but the law says they can't. What do you make of these laws that allow all this space for Donald Trump and others to step in and say it was stolen from us?
Well, I do think the law should be changed. I think it should be changed. If we're going to have a lot of mail-in ballots, we should be counting them as quickly as possible and pre-counting them or at least preparing them to be counted, because people like Donald Trump are going to turn every election like this into a S show, for want of a better word, because he's now set the tone for all of this. He doesn't care about the law, he doesn't care about the facts, he doesn't care about the truth, and all he wants to do is basically say whatever he can say that's to his advantage, or what he thinks is to his advantage, or to a candidate that he supports. And it's a terrible thing for democracy.
George, do you have any theories why Donald Trump has dug in so deep with Dr. Oz? What is the connection there? Why does he really care, frankly?
I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the opponent who has a connection to the administration in an indirect way. I don't know. I don't know what it is why he feels so vested in Oz. I don't know.
Well, television star solidarity.
Yeah.
And Mika, he's actually said that. He's made that point. He said you got great ratings, and great ratings mean you're popular, and that means you're going to get elected to office, so I'm going to support that guy.
It's everything that we learned about Trump as we watched him choose people. Sometimes we were able to watch very close up. He looks at people's looks, at how much popularity they get on television, how malleable they may be to following his orders, that loyalty oath. I mean, Dr. Oz is kind of a perfect prey for a cult-like figure like Trump, because chances are he will follow his directions, and he will hold on to that endorsement and that support with a very tight grip. But he has sort of the shallow qualities that Trump loves to prey upon.
And Mika, I think you just nailed it, though. Pliable when it comes to the 2024 election. Who is going to be more pliable, Dr. Oz or David McCormick? David McCormick will uphold a free and fair election result, whereas Dr. Oz is more likely to go with Donald Trump.
So, George, Dr. Oz, at least on election night, said, OK, it's not over yet. He didn't declare victory. We'll see what he does now with his pressure from Trump. But I actually wanted to get you on the other race in Pennsylvania, the other Republican primary, the governor's, with Doug Mastriano now being the candidate there. And he's a full-on election denier. He has said that if he were to win, he would order his Secretary of State, which he would get to appoint, a reset of the voter rolls, and seemingly has made it very clear that he would have not certified Joe Biden's victory in 2020 and would likely, potentially, not certify any Democratic victory in 2024. Talk to us about the threat he poses if he follows through with all that.
Well, it's a very serious threat. I mean, one of the things that saved our democracy in 2020 was state officials in Arizona and in Georgia doing the right thing and certifying votes that had been counted properly, and not, and not applying partisan measures to it, and not lying, and doing the right thing. And when you have this man who is an election denier, who was in the Capitol or outside the Capitol on January 6th, who's going to have the legal right to appoint the Secretary of State who certifies the vote, that is a very, very concerning thing. And that's a problem that we're going to see in other states as well, as some of these election denier candidates gain public office.
George, while we have you, the Justice Department this week asked for transcripts from the January 6th committee. The January 6th committee holding back a little bit, but they didn't say no. I think it's a matter of when. I want to get your take on that move. What does it tell us about the Department of Justice and how they're looking at the January 6th attack on the Capitol and their investigation?
No, I think it means that they may be looking at the investigation in much the same way as the January 6th committee, but they're choosing to devote their resources to working more specifically from the bottom up than the committee, and that they're basically drafting like a bicyclist in a Tour de France. They're drafting off of the committee, and who can blame them? It's a very resource. They're limited in both are limited in resources. The congressional committee is very, very well staffed, and so why duplicate the effort? Let Congress do some of the work, and then see what comes out. And I think that's a very sensible approach, and clearly that's what they have been intending to do, and that's what they're following through on that plan. And